Our next agenda point here is called project procurement. So let's take a look inside some of that education content to give you a taste of what that looks like. So if we jump back into our StageGate model up there on the left, please, you'll see that at the left we have the P2C model there on the upper left. Yes, thank you. Yeah, so at the end of the analysis phase, you can see at the bottom right of the box that it has the project gate, the project development strategy. So we don't go a lot into how to develop the actual project development strategy in the education because it's not normally directly procurement related already at that point. But we do go into some of the analysis topics that provide input into the next strategy phase. So there will be analysis topics in the education, such as site and program analysis, and scope and interface analysis, and also risk and opportunity analysis. And then, of course, the analysis that Bota just showed us, the strategy phase, where the project procurement strategy is prepared, which is the gate deliverable that you can see shown at the bottom right of the strategy phase there. And this deliverable is, of course, a key milestone in the procurement activities of the project development phase, and therefore also a key topic in the education. So let's jump out of the StageGate model. So as part of preparing the project procurement strategy, you first need to collect and document a number of facts about the project. So you have a foundation for actually taking the strategic decisions in your project procurement strategy. What you see at the top here in the middle are some summary slides that are used in the education of the project procurement strategy. If you can try and open the middle one there, Michelle, if you can hit that one. So the topics that you see here, for example, form part of the foundation that needs to be established as part of preparing your project procurement strategy. And we'll go through all of these in detail in the education. So if we jump out of the slide again, Michelle, and go into the slide at the upper right. So this is a more detailed version of one of the topics that we go into. It's the project scope baseline that you see. So this is an example of a project scope baseline for this Atlantis offshore wind farm, which is the wind farm that we use to sort of illustrate all the examples throughout the education here. Now, the project scope baseline outlines the site-specific and the technical and geographical parameters of the project, which includes site characteristics and technology selection, like type and size of turbines, for example, and foundations. And it also describes interfaces and dependencies and so on. And all this information is derived from the analysis phase and then carried over into the strategy phase. Next one on the bottom left. So another part of the project foundation that needs to be in place to have discussions about the project procurement strategy is the project's program baseline. So in order to make strategic decisions, you of course also need a detailed understanding of the time restrictions that are set by the various project development and also project construction milestones, right? So this is another topic that we will also go into. All of this, needs to be in place. It needs to be analyzed before you can move on to the strategic decisions that you need to make in the project procurement strategy. If we jump out of this one, Michelle, and into the one in the bottom middle. So here we've moved on to an example of one of the key strategic topics of the project procurement strategy. So this is an illustration of a procurement quilt So a key outcome of the development of the project procurement strategy is the decision on a contracting strategy for the project. So this strategy will decide how many pieces the overall project scope is cut into before it's being offered to the supplier market, was also mentioned earlier today. So in the education, the student will learn about what you need to consider when you develop the contracting strategy. And you will also learn as part of that to use this procurement quilt that you see here, which is a useful tool that sort of nicely illustrates visual aid that shows where the project has decided to go with multi-contracting, with where the overall project scope is cut into a lot of smaller scopes in the quilt here, as you see, or you can go more in a direction where larger scopes are chunked together and offered to the market. So those considerations is also something that we go into in the education. Now, if you go out of this one and into the last slide on the bottom right there. So finally, the last illustration here describes another topic that may form part of a project procurement strategy, which is a guideline as to how to carry out the actual procurement processes after the project procurement strategy has been approved. So as also mentioned earlier, this is not covered in detail in this education, but we're currently developing the next step in the education, which will focus on the procurement and the tendering phase. So yeah, stay tuned for that.